This conference will
Hi
now
all,
be recorded.
welcome to the session. I can't wait longer here. So we will start the session. Let them join. Okay? Yeah. So see here, we have created three tables. And today we have already seen, I think, about the relations as well. How to work with the relations and what is a normal relation and a foreign key relation. So we will see the remaining set of relations today. Okay? So to do that, first of all, I want to create one more table. Let me go to Amazon and data model tables. I will duplicate this customer table because I want to create a vendor table now. Okay, 1 second. Click on the duplicate in the project. Now you can go to Solution Explorer. Just a second, let it load. Okay, now open this table and you can see the fields and everything. Okay, now what I will do is instead of calling this as customers, I will rename this and then I will call this table as AMA vendors. Okay, now this is my vendors table. Now in this vendors tables, what are the fields that we have planned? Let's see. We have planned for name, mobile number, address, landmark, credit point. Okay, so we have gender. This is not needed for a vendor table. Credit points is needed. Building name, building number, landmark, mobile number, name, father name, address, customer ID. These are the fields which are enough. Okay, and now the next thing that I want to do is either if it is the customer table or either it is the vendor table, I want to define one field called payment type. Okay, I want to define a field called payment type, and in this payment type I would like to add some debit, credit, cash. Okay, these are the three values which I would like to add. So what we need to do, we need to create a base enum for this. So let me create one base enum. Click on the add button, new item, and then I'm creating a base enum. I will call this as AMA payment types. Remember, I told you whenever we are creating a enum, it should be plural, and EDT you should make it singular. Okay, now let me create a new element. The first element should be always none. Otherwise, it will go to the default value whatever you have set. So you need to set it to none. And the second element would be, I will call this as debit. I am not creating labels, but you should create labels. Please remember, it is very important if you want your application to work in multiple languages. Okay, and then let me call this as credit, and I want to create a third one, a new element. I will call this as cash. Okay, this is my payment type, or if you want to call it as a customer type or vendor type, you can call it. I made it a payment type. Okay, next I need to create a EDT enum for this. Click on the add button, new item, and then go to data types, create a EDT enum, and let's call it as AMA payment type. Click on the add button. Now go to properties and then call it as payment type. Okay, or if you want to define customer payment type, vendor payment type, don't define label here. Okay, and use the field enum type, set it to AMA payment types. Done. Now we are done. Now what I will do is I will take this AMA vendors and then I will drag and drop this payment type here. I will call this as payment type, and here in the label I will set it to vendor payment type. Okay, And similarly, I will open the customer table, open, and here I have the fields again, and I will set this to payment type, and I will go to properties. I will call this customer payment type. Customer payment type. Done. Okay, now we are done with creating the labels and everything. Okay, and next, see here, whenever you are storing the information about the sales, or if you want to create only one table, let's say in the same sales table, I want to store the details of the vendor and then I want to store the details of the customer because I don't have more number of transactions. If I have more number of transactions, I can divide it into purchase table and then sales table and then do that. Okay, but I want to create a single table. Let's say instead of calling this as a sales, we can call sales purchase. Okay, AMS sales purchase table, and then whatever we need to do is to identify, we need to create a type, and then we need to call it as a customer or a vendor. Okay, now here what I will do is I will create one more base in a new item, and then I will call it as AMA sales purchase type. Okay, if you want to store it in a single table, okay, then only you need to do this. By default, I will create a new element which will be none, and then a new element, I will call this as customer, and then I will create a new element, I will call this as vendor. Now that we are done with creating the enums, okay, vendor, and this will be customer. Done. Okay, done. Go to Solution Explorer, create one more EDT. This is where, yeah, it will take very long time, creating the EDTs labels, because most of the times, whenever you give some estimation, this is what you need to consider. Writing code would be easy, but creating these objects will take long time. AMA sales purchase type. Okay, let me do one thing. Let me make it types. Okay, just a second, it's loading. Yeah, done. New item, and then a EDT in a, let me call it AMA sales purchase type. Done. Okay, and go to properties. Now you can set the enum type property to AMA sales purchase types. Okay, done. Now we are done. Now let me open the sales table because I want to store the data of both of them in a single table now. So what I will do is I will take this sales purchase type and then I will add it as one more field. Go to properties and you can say sales purchase type. Okay, and I will say sales purchase type. Okay, now we will do a rebuild and then we will store or we will create some data before starting with the other types of relations. Okay, I want to show you first of all how the data will look like. Okay, let's do that.
Kumar, meanwhile, I have a doubt. Just joined little late. So when we created a base in a purchase sales purchase type, then we added that to the EDT.
Yes.
So could we could add that base enum field directly to the table instead of this adding to
No,
the EDT?
that's not the best practice. You can directly add
Oh,
the base in, but that's not the best practice. As per the best practice, every field should be bound to the extended data type. It might be of any type. Okay.
okay.
Because all these things are foundation, which is why I'm taking long time. Okay, once we are done with tables now, we will move faster because this sync will not be there. If you need to do a database sync, even if it is a high-end machine, it will take long time, at least 2 minutes, because we have the Azure machines with octa-core Xeon processor, and then 16 GB of RAM. Even in that machine, the sync will take minimum of 2 minutes. I don't know what is the exact reason, but they will take. Seems like build is completed. It will take a fraction of a minute to show the details. Huh? Let's wait for a minute. Done. Now see here, I will open the address table. I don't know whether you have people observed or not. Today you can see this right and a lock and then a plus button. Okay, you can see some icon here. No one has asked me about this. Okay, I think from the past few days you might be observing this. So here, if you see the plus button, newly added file, the code is being added to TFS. If you see this right, it indicates we have checked out the object. If it is a lock, it's checked in. Okay, when you modify the object, it will become right. If you create a new object, it will become plus. Okay. Okay, now let me open the address table and create some addresses. If you want to use the tools to add data, you can use tools as well. Okay, that's all up to you again. If you want to create some dummy data, you can create it very easily. Okay, it's not a big deal, because there are some tools, there are some open source tools as well, which will create the data for your tables. Okay, just a second here, it's taking some time to load. Let me try to open all the tables. At once it will open. You will have some bulk data import tools. Okay, they will already have the name of the people, building numbers, building names, and address details and everything. If you ask me, there is one commercial tool from Redgate. That tool as well you can use if you want. One second. Just I would like to check whether the batch management service is started or not. Okay, it is running. Good. Okay, now you can see some data here already, and there is no data area ID because we have made it this table shared. We have 2 records. Let's add 2 more records. Okay, we have Hyderabad, Bangalore. We will add Chennai and Delhi. Okay, and then we'll move on. Click on the new button, and let me call city as Noida, country IND, district I will say Delhi, and state I will say New Delhi, street, okay, I will say some Gandhi Street. I don't know whether it is there or not. Pin code I will say 1000 26. Okay, and save this. Done. The next step, go to the customers, click on the new button. Now you can see here what it will display. It is displaying street, district, city, zip code. From where it is displaying? It is displaying the information from auto lookup. Okay, these fields you will get from auto lookup. Okay, now let me add Gandhi Street, building name I will say Balaji Mansion, building number 101, credit points I will say 5, customer ID I will say 1001, for the name let me say Chiranjeevi, gender male, landmark I will say some sweet house, mobile number 98490, name Ramcharan, payment type I will say debit. Done. Okay, I have created one record with debit. I will create one record with cash, one record with credit. Okay, now let me create a new record. I will select the other address. If you want to select the same address, you can do that here because we have made it one to many mapping. Okay, now I have Balaji Mansion. This time I will take Venkateshwara Apartments. I will say 105, credit points 10, 1002 is my customer ID. Actually, for that you can get the number sequence. Currently, we don't know how to write code, so I'm directly giving it. Okay, father name Krishna and male, and you can say Tanishk as the landmark 98480, 98480, name Mahesh Babu, payment type I will say credit. Save. Click on the new button, and now you can say a new address again, Hyderabad, and I will say Ramanusk.
Hello.
And yeah, go ahead.
This address lookup is due to foreign key relation, right?
Yes, yes. And okay, I will say Chandrababu and male, and I will say NTR mark as the landmark 470 98470. Lokesh. Done. Payment type is cash. Okay. Now we are done. Oh, sorry. I need to select this as cash. Now you have seen one type of lookup, which is from foreign key relation. Okay. And now here this is sales table. Let me select the new button. Now you can see the customer ID. You are getting only 3, 1001, 1002, 1003. Well, yeah, you are not getting anything else because let's go and check the auto lookup property of the customer table. AMA customers, auto report, nothing, lookup, nothing. Now you can add few of the fields if you want. Okay, name, father name, address, mobile number. If you want to add this to, you can add to the auto lookup. Now you will get these fields. And if you want to add the customer ID, you can add it. And similarly, for report as well, if you want to add all the fields, you can add all the fields. Okay. And similarly, if you want to create an index, so what are the indexes that you can create for this table? One is customer ID X, which is a unique index. You can drag and drop the customer IDX to this one, and the next one would be name IDX. And what you can do, you can set hello duplicates to yes, and you can drag and drop name. And similarly, if you want to create, you can create a mobile number index. You can create a, if you want to add Aadhaar card, you can add a Aadhaar card number IDX, PAN card IDX, like that. You can add any number of indexes. Okay. And if you want, you can create a new index. You can call it as mobile number IDX, and then you can set hello duplicates to no, alternate key to yes.
Hello.
Okay. And then you can drag and drop mobile number. Yeah, go ahead.
Actually, if we have set of fields, then on which sectors we should decide this field should come under unique index, or means how to decide
You need to think
in
about the
this.
data. Okay. Coming to the customer ID, this is a auto-generated number. It will be unique value generated for each record in a table. So obviously this will be the unique index. Mobile number. If you have one customer, that customer cannot have two customers cannot have the same mobile number. Is that right? Which is why I have set mobile number to unique. Whereas name, if you take the name Sirisha, there will be hundreds of people with the same name. If you take the name Srinivas, there will be hundreds of people with the same name. If you take Srikanth, okay. So it depends. You need to first of all think about the data, and then you need to decide what is the type of index that you need to use, whether it should be unique or non-unique. Okay.
So as a developer, we need to decide, or in a document, in a functional document, we will be
You will
giving.
have the document. If it is a big company, you will get the document. If it is a small company, you need to decide. Okay. It depends on company to company again. If it is a big company, you will get the documents and you are going to simply create them. If it is a small company, then obviously you need to decide. Okay. Now you can see I made name as the clustered index, primary index as customer IDX. Okay, because it does not contain duplicates, and this will have duplicates. Because 90% of the times they will try to sort on the basis of name. Okay. And for mobile number, I have made it a replacement key. You can use this mobile number as well in your index. Done. Okay. These are the three best indexes that you can define for this particular table. Now, this is how you need to organize. If you don't organize, this is what will happen. Okay. Now what I will do is, anyways, we are here. So I will create some sales. I will say picked sales ID. I will say S1001 sales purchase type. I will say customer, and here I will say amount 1000 as the total amount. I'm not creating any lines now. Okay. Later on we will see about the lines, because currently I want to discuss about the relations. Okay. And I will take the same 1001, and then you can see. Okay. Now I want to ask you one more thing. Okay. I have created two records. I have the sales purchase type, customer and vendor. That means for customer and vendor, we want to use the same table. Is that right? So now I have done a small mistake. Okay. What is that? I have created a vendors table, and in the vendors table as well, I have created customer ID. What I need to do? I need to create a, click on the add button, new item, and then create a EDT string. Let me call this as AMA vendor ID. Because for vendors, there will be vendor ID. For customers, it is customer ID. 1 second. Okay. Now you can go to properties. Let me set the size to 20. And then, okay, label vendor ID, done. And go to Solution Explorer, open vendors table, drag and drop this vendor ID. Where is this EDT string? This one. Drag and drop this vendor ID here. Okay. Properties. Let me call this as vendor ID. Done. Okay. Now, if I need to get the vendor list as well in this sales table, what I need to do? Here already I have created one relation with the customer. Is that right? I have created one relation with the customer. I need to create one more relation. And for this customer ID, I have created a foreign key. If you want to use, you can use the same foreign key. You can call it as cust vend foreign key, and then you can use it. Okay. Now what I will do is I will create one more relation. New relation. Good. Go to properties and call this as vendor, and cardinality will be 0 or more. I have the vendor and I can purchase more in amount or not. Okay, it will be exactly one. Relationship type association. For this relationship type I will get back related table AMA vendors. Done. Save this. Now right click on the new. I am creating a normal relation. Go to properties and then let me call this as vendor ID, or when you select the field you will automatically get it. Okay, this as well I need to rename. I will rename, just a second, and I need to select vendor ID from here. Instead of calling this as customer ID, I will call this as cust vend ID. Save. Okay, done. Go to Solution Explorer and we need to rebuild. And before doing a rebuild, let me add few records in the vendors table, and then we will do a rebuild. Okay, because we have added some 3 records now in the customer table, we will add some records in the vendor table as well. In the customers anyways we have added the records. Okay, we have the vendors table now. Let's add few records here. New, I will take some address here. Sweet House Road, this one. Building name, I will say Platinum Sus or something like that. Building number F156. Credit points, I will say 255. Customer ID, oh, we have not changed the value here. Okay, let me do a rebuild. No, I don't want to create the data now. I will do a rebuild and then I will create the data because I don't want that field. I want vendor ID. Okay, just a second. I need to close and reopen, or I need to do this one. You know why you will get the error? Whenever you do a rebuild and whenever you try to open the URL, it will say, what it will say? Please refresh. Because whenever you do a rebuild in Visual Studio, it will refresh IIS. It will restart AOS. It will restart AOS service, which is why you need to refresh your screen. Otherwise, you will not get data. That means you would not be able to open the environment. You need to refresh. It is mandatory.
Sorry, Kumar, can you just repeat? I just missed what you said.
Okay, what I'm saying is, whenever we do a rebuild, it will reset IIS. If it reset IIS, what will happen? We have application object server service in IIS. So obviously, as IIS is reset, AOS service will get reset. If AOS service will get reset, your application will not open directly. It will throw the error asking you to refresh the screen. Okay, because this is your website. Okay, this is your website. So if IIS will get reset, obviously you need to refresh. Then only this is going to work. Otherwise, it will throw error. Okay.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Kumar.
Yeah. Let's do one thing. In the meantime, let's see. Okay, now what we have done in this sales table, we have added how many relations? 2 relations or 1 relation? Let me check.
Two.
It's not okay. 2 relations. Now I have created a field cust vendor ID. For the same field, I have created 2 relations. Now what do you think? Will it show data from both the tables? Will it show data only from one table? Or what it will do?
But we didn't decide on which what would be the condition to go to the different table. This is what I'm
That's why I'm
saying.
asking. We have not defined anything yet. So that's why
It
I'm
will,
asking.
it will go to the
That,
one table only.
okay, let's see. Okay, let's see what happens. Because based on that, we need to see what is going to happen. Okay, now what I will do is I will open the vendor table, vendors, open table browser, and then I will open the sales table. Okay, anyways, we have created customers and addresses. Even then, let me open it. We can just see the data in it. Okay, just a second, let it load. Okay, now you can see this is my AMA vendors. Let me create some vendors. Just a second, it's loading. Come on. Okay, now let me select some address here. Building name, I will say Platinum SIS. Building number EF158. Credit points 255. Okay, there will be no further name as well. So in the name, we need to call it as an entity name. Okay. So I will keep further name empty. Later on, we can delete that. Landmark. You can say some. Okay, I'm giving Madhapur. I don't know that name. Okay. Mobile number 450-98450. Name. Let me say visual path. Payment type. You can say debit. And vendor ID. I will say V1001. I'm using only one record here. One record is sufficient. Okay. Now you can see sales table. Here I have one record. And what is this? I'm getting only customers. I have created one vendor. Why I'm not getting this? Because whenever you define the relations on the same field from multiple tables, it will consider only one table. Okay, it will consider only one relation and it will display the data. So at this point, what do you need to do? You need to specify some condition. We need to specify the condition. So we need to fetch the data conditionally on that particular field. So how we can do that? Okay, in this I have created sales purchase type. Now what I will do is I will click on the new button. I will add a field fixed, new field fixed, and I will go to the properties, and then I will say the field is sales purchase type and the value is customer. Okay, so what does this mean? If the sales purchase type is customer, then fetch the records from customer table. Similarly for vendors, I will click on the new button and then create a field fixed. Here I will select the field again. I will call this as sales purchase type and I will set the value as vendor. So here, if the sales purchase type is vendor, then fetch the data from vendor table. Okay, this is how we need to add the condition. So if you don't add condition, what will happen? It will fetch data only from one table. And when these conditions are needed, they are needed only when if you want to get the data from multiple tables in the single field. Only in that case, you need to add this kind of relations. And one more point to remember is, whenever you are working with the conditional relation, either it is field fixed or either it is related field fixed, it will work only with the enumerated data type. It will work only with the enumerated data type. So now what is field fixed relation? If you want to fetch the data by fixing the field, okay. If you want to restrict the records selected in the primary table, then we are going to use field fixed relation. If you want to restrict the records selected in the related table, then you will use related field fixed relation. Okay. Now let me do a rebuild, and then we will see on the front end, and then we will see the next type. Okay. I'm doing a rebuild. We have added the conditions now. Let's see how it goes.
Hello. Can we not do rebuild option or build option instead of rebuild every time?
You can do that.
It will be same time, or it will be like so what is as per as we know that the difference between build and rebuild is the past changes will be saved in rebuild, and build again the full it will take a full build. So apart from that, do we have any other differences?
There is no other difference. Okay. But coming to
Okay.
here, if you set
Yeah.
sync to true, even if it is build or rebuild, it is same. Okay. Because it should synchronize with the database. That will obviously take the same time. Okay. Only if it is with the Visual Studio, then that will be the case. If you do a build, it will take more amount of time. Whereas coming to the rebuild, so it will take less amount of time. Whereas coming to the Dynamics 365, it will be same if you set sync to true.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Kumar.
You'll find the difference of rebuild when we go to the code. When I build only code, then you will find the difference. Whereas coming to this one, it will be same. Okay, done. Now you can see build got completed successfully. Okay. Now again, what I need to do? I will close. I need to close this, or I need to refresh. Okay. Instead of refresh, I will close. Let me open the sales table back again this time. Now let's see how it goes. It has loaded. Let me click on maximize. I have customer ID, and by default sales purchase type. Oh, I had yeah, okay. By default it is set to customer. I think we have not defined none, or I do not define the label. Okay, now I have not said anything. Hey, what does it say? This control cannot open a lookup form in its current context. Why? Because I have set this to empty. In the sales purchase types, in the none I have not defined any label, which is why I did not get anything. Okay, so now what did it say? If you are selecting none, it says it cannot open because there is no metadata. Okay, now I will set this to customer. I got the customer data. Good. Now let me do one thing. Let me change this to vendor. I got the vendor data. Okay, as we have not defined anything in the auto lookup, I got only vendor ID. Got it? This is how we are going to work with field fixed relation. This is how we are going to work with field fixed relation. Okay, and actually now again we got one more requirement. So the requirement is here, when I am selecting the customer, It is displaying all the records, credit, debit, and cash. But my customer requirement is he want to currently restrict because this is a COVID situation. So he can't take cards here. He can't take credit and debit card. There's a possibility of getting corona. So what he want to do is he wants to take only cash, and that too he want to drop that cash somewhere. Okay, so that he will be safe. Okay, because this is what is happening outside nowadays. Okay, now we need to restrict it only to the cash. That means what we need to do? We need to restrict the records from the related table. Okay, from this customer table we need to retrieve the records only which belongs to cash. We need to do that. How to do that? Now what we need to do is, let's go to the sales table. In this customer I will add one more relation. I will right click and click on the new button. I will add related field fixed. Now observe the difference. When I took the field fixed, on right side it took the value. When I took related field fixed, on left side it took the value. It's saying AMA customers. In the related table I have a field called payment type, and this payment type I want to fix it to cash. So here what I'm saying, when the sales purchase type is customer, get the data from the customer table where the payment type of customer is cash, then accept only cash payments. This is what I'm saying. Okay, now let's see whether it works or not. Let me do a rebuild.
Hello.
Yeah, Mohammed.
Yeah, Mr. Kumar. Yeah, actually, while building, if you make rebuilding the solution, if you make some changes in the table structure, like increasing the field size or removing one particular field from the table, how it will impact on the data which we already entered?
If you add a new field, you mean to say?
If we add a new field or remove a field or alter the size of the field.
See here, if you alter the size of the field, first of all, if there is data already exists in the database, if you are reducing the size, it will throw this error saying that the data will get truncated.
Okay.
Okay. If you are creating a new field and if you are making it a unique, okay, by default you will have the data and there are no values for it, so it will throw unique index violation error. If you make it duplicate to yes, then it will not throw any error. It will accept that new field. This is point number 2. Okay, and if you remove the existing field, it will sync, it will alter the table. Okay, because you are removing the data, that means nothing is going to happen if you delete that field. But again, that also depends on data. Okay, if you are removing the field with some data and there are some indexes and everything, it will show you the warning messages.
But it
Okay,
will sync.
it will sync. Okay, but there are few scenarios. If it has already data, there are few scenarios where it will throw the error. Okay, because it all depends on what are the conditions you wrote. We will see that further. Okay, but that thing you can try. I will show you what are the conditions and how to work with them. But the remaining thing, because if you are allowing deletion of the column with the data, okay, it will create a lot of issues. Okay, so what we will do is at the initial level we will execute few scripts so that we can make the data unusable, and then we will alter the table. Okay, we will not alter the table directly when there is a data in it. Okay, if you have the data in the table, you should not alter the table without checking what are the side effects of it. The first preliminary analysis that should be done is whether it has the indexes and how the indexes will get altered if you change it. And because in dynamic CX, if you create a new field with unique index, it will not work. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, give me a second. Okay, now see here. Let me open this sales table back again, and we will see the difference for the customers table. Okay, because let me check if I get the lookup here. That would be good. Oh, we lost connection. Click close to continue working. Why we get this error? Due to rebuild. Whenever you do a rebuild or build, AOS will get restarted. Okay, so you will get this error. Let it load. Yeah, it got loaded. Now here it is the customer. We got only one record, which is cash. Okay, so this is about related table field fixed relation. Okay, so now what is the difference between both of them? If it is a field fixed relation, it will restrict the records selected in the primary table, in the current table. What is related field fixed relation? It will restrict the records that are getting selected from the related table. Okay, so this is about relations here. Normal, foreign key, field fixed, related field fixed. Okay, I planned to discuss delete actions, but time will not be enough. So now it's your time. Please let me know if you have any queries in the relations. I will check in this code, and I will do one thing. I will create one more user for you, and you people can download the code daily. Okay, I will provide access. Yeah. Any queries? If there are
Kumar,
no queries, yeah.
it's not related to today's session. It's a little
Yeah,
bit.
Kamal, go ahead.
I have little bit doubt on cardinality property. So is it mandatory to define the cardinality?
It's mandatory if you want to use data entities. Okay, because when you are working with the data entities, you should say whether it's a one-to-one mapping or one-to-many mapping and how it is. It's mandatory. Okay, if you don't want to use data entities, you can keep it empty.
Okay. And then I had a doubt related to this VHD files actually.
Yeah, what
So
is?
I don't know what is going on. So whenever we are downloading all the 16 files, it will create all the file inside these 63 file folder, or we need to extract inside that. Shall
Only you need to open the first file. You will be having the executable file. Part 001 will be executable file. That executable file you need to open. It will take care of extraction of all the other files. Okay, you should not right click and use 7-zip or some other tool to extract. That is not going to work. The first file is the executable file. You need to double click and open it, and then it will extract the remaining files automatically.
okay.
Okay.
That
Next. Okay. Yeah. If you have questions at any point of time, you can ping me on WhatsApp as well. No worries. Yep.
Yes,
Go ahead.
Kumar, I have a question. So
Go ahead.
maybe this is related to older concepts. So in the meantime, I just created vendor table and opened the table in browser. So I found that zip code and other fields are, the fields are starting from zip code and these things. But my vendor column is on the fifth or 5th or 4th. So I want my
One second.
vendor ID call.
1 second.
Yeah.
Sabyasachi, whenever you are opening the table browser, okay, it will take in a different way. Okay, because if you see here, table browser is the menu item. Table browser is the menu item in which it will open your table. Okay, so here, whatever the order it is, there is no need of considering this, because front end, the user is never going to open this table browser.
Okay.
The user
Okay.
will see form. In the form, I will show you how to create the sort order. Because here,
Okay.
if you want to create a sort order, whatever the order you want to get, we need to customize this systable browser. Got
Right.
it?
Right. Yeah. So
If you want
that
to do
was
that,
my,
you need to
yes.
customize stable browser.
Sorry, if we want to do that,
You can do by customizing stable browser. There is a form. There is a form called stable browser. There we can customize that and we can change whatever the order we need. Okay, but
Okay.
that will affect all the tables.
Right. Right. I got it.
Because this is for all the tables. This is not for 1 or 2 tables. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Next.
clear. So that.
Okay. If
Hello.
there are no queries, yeah, go ahead.
For address table, you said we don't have data area ID field because we have set to shared.
Yes. Save data
So,
per company property. We have set it to no.
okay.
Okay. So if there are no other queries, I will end session for everyone. Thanks all for the session. Let's meet again tomorrow same time. Thank you all. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks. Thanks, Kumar.